Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm going to be sharing a meal prep with you guys. This is just a very casual, simple meal prep. I just wanted to share just like a realistic, normal Sunday meal prep for me. This is not fancy. It's going to be simple, easy, low calorie, healthy, and yeah, just no fuss kind of meal prep. So I wanted to just pop on here and just do an intro and say hello, because the rest of the video is going to be a voiceover. It's just the most simple way to do a meal prep instead of like talking live and like going over what I'm doing. I really like to just be in the zone, listen to music, and get the meal prep done, and then I like to upload it and then do a voiceover of telling you what I'm doing. So hopefully you guys don't mind that. Hopefully you guys enjoy this meal prep, and I really hope that it's just beneficial for you if you're on a weight loss journey and you're just trying to incorporate meal prep or making more meals at home for you so that you always have meals prepared. I feel like that's the number one like tip I can give. I've lost 60 pounds and I've meal prepped from the very beginning. I just feel like it's so beneficial. So I hope that this gives you some ideas, and if you want to recreate any of these recipes, check the description box down below. I will have everything written out, and I also will leave a playlist of all my previous meal preps. There's a ton of meal preps and I still make all those recipes all the time. Sometimes with weight loss, the good thing is to just make things you love and enjoy, that you already know you love and enjoy. So I will leave the playlist for you guys to go back on, and again, description box, that's where I leave all the info. I also have a website with a lot of recipes. I'll leave that link down below too. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video and just can relax, get a notepad so you can write things down or screenshot. Yeah, maybe make your grocery list while you're watching this. I also, in the very beginning of this video, I'm going to show you guys how I make my cold brew coffee. I'll leave my cold brew maker also down in the description box. It's from Amazon and it's a great cold brew maker. It's a little bit on the smaller side, but I live in an RV and have a very small fridge, so it was the perfect size for my lifestyle and situation. So I'm going to show you guys really quick how I make my cold brew. It's super simple. So we're going to start the video with that. My cold brew coffee is so easy to make. I got this cold brew maker from Amazon, which I'll leave that link down below. I really like this one because it's very small, so it fits great in my fridge. And what I do is I use any kind of coffee ground that I have. I really love the dark roast Starbucks, and I have just a little bit left, so I'm going to add that, and then I'll add the medium roast that I got from Aldi. You're going to want to fill up the coffee ground until the black line. So you can kind of look inside. I'll give you a clip of the inside. Just fill it up to the black line, so you're really covering all the coffee in the mesh area, but you want to leave a gap so that when the coffee grounds expand overnight, it has room and the coffee grounds don't like overflow into your water. Now go ahead and fill it up with water. I'm just using spring water and filling it up to the top. The more you do this, the more you'll kind of know where you need to fill it up to. I added a little bit too much water, so I had to splash a little bit out, but you'll get the hang of it the more you do it. And then you just twist the top on. It goes on really nicely. And then you have cold brew. And you just want to leave it in your fridge for 24 hours before drinking. You want it to be really strong. I really wouldn't drink it prior to 24 hours. You really want it to steep. So there you go. There's my cold brew. For breakfast, I'm making overnight oats. I'm doing two different flavors. One for myself, I'm doing a carrot cake. I'm just grating one whole carrot with a grater into fine shreds, as you can see. As fine as you can really get it is the better. And then I'm going to chop up some strawberries for Joey, my husband. He wants a strawberry overnight oats. So I'm just going to chop up some fresh strawberries. And then I have 4 containers. So I'm doing 2 for me for 2 days, 2 breakfasts, and 2 for my husband. I decided to do a half a cup of oats to keep us nice and full for breakfast. I am using quick oats. You could opt out quick oats and do rolled oats, but I just prefer the texture of quick oats, and I just like how they're a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to take some nut milk. I'm using cashew milk. I'm doing a half a cup to each, and then I'm going to do a half a cup of water to each. For the carrot cake, I am adding 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then about 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And then for the strawberry oats, I'm going to do 1/2 of a teaspoon of sugar-free strawberry jello mix. And this really, really is key to a really good strawberry flavored overnight oats. So definitely don't skip this one. Give those a really good mix together, and then we're going to add our topping. So I'm going to divide the carrots into 2, and then I'm also going to divide the strawberries into two. I want to mention with overnight oats, you can obviously eat them cold or you can pop them in the microwave for about a minute and have them warm, depending on what you like. To each of these, I'm going to be adding 28 grams of cranberries. I decided to add the cranberries into the strawberry as well because I feel like that's going to be so good. Originally, that's not what the recipe was for, but I think it's going to be really tasty. And I wanted to also mention I did 28 grams for myself, and then I didn't really measure Joey's, even though it kind of looks about the same. I feel like his is probably around close to 28 grams, but he doesn't really count calories, so I didn't measure his. But I did measure mine, so make sure if you count your calories to track that. So I'm just popping on the lids, and then we're going to store that in the fridge, and that will be our breakfast for the next 2 days. I'm so excited to make this recipe. I got this recipe from LONI Jane's recipe ebook. So this is not my recipe, this is her recipe, so I'll leave it linked down below. But I'm just rinsing some lentils. This is going to be a lentil bolognese sauce, which I think that's just a genius idea. If you're vegan or vegetarian, or if you're just someone who just wants to do like meatless meals, this is such a great option. I mentioned I wanted to start doing more plant-based meals, so I'm just really excited for this recipe, and I'm just gonna already say it in the beginning of this. It's so good. It's so worth making. I am just going to heat up the lentils per the instructions, and while the lentils are cooking, I'm gonna cut up a onion and garlic clove. I did half of a white onion because it's a pretty large onion. So I'm going to chop that up, and then I'm going to do about 3 to 4 garlic cloves. And then once I am done doing the chopping, I'm going to go ahead, now that the lentils are boiling, I'm going to lower the heat. Once it gets to a boil, you want to lower the heat to pretty low medium heat, and you're going to let that cook for about 30 minutes. I got a basil plant from this store today, so I am going to top my pasta with fresh basil. You could add any herb of your choice, but I really do like basil, and I got a nice huge basil plant. It's outside in the sun right now. I decided to leave it outside under some shade, but it's getting natural sunlight, and this basil plant is huge, and I got it for $4, so I was pretty happy about that. I'm going to go ahead and saute my garlic, cloves, and onion. I did add a little bit of olive oil to the pan and a little splash of water, which is like my new favorite thing to do because it just makes it seem like you're using way more oil than you really are when you add a little bit of water to it. So I'm just going to saute this together. I forgot to mention I didn't show it, but I added a few cherry tomatoes because I am adding pasta sauce to this, but I like chunks of tomatoes, so like fresh tomatoes. So I added a few cherry tomatoes, and now that it's done and soft, I'm going to go ahead and add those lentils that I cooked, and then we're going to give that a good mix together because we want that flavor to kind of blend in with the lentils, and then we'll be adding the pasta sauce. And for the pasta sauce, you can use any sauce you want. You can make your own, or you can use a store-bought pasta sauce. I just decided to go with a store-bought pasta sauce, and I did 2 full cups of that, and then of course mixed it all together. For the seasoning, I kept it pretty simple with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and dried Italian herbs. I let this sit on low heat for about 20 minutes, and I think it is now done. It's coming to a light boil. All of the flavors seem like they are mixed together, and it's a really good texture. So it is finished. Look how good this looks. I am serving it over protein plus pasta. So I'm just adding my bolognese, lentil bolognese, to that. Some fresh basil. You can top it with some salt and pepper. I chose red pepper chili flakes because I just love red pepper
chili flakes. And there you have it, you guys, a very healthy meal.
I just had a bite and it is so good. I love it. You could add some nutritional yeast and that would even make it better, like a more cheesy flavor, but I love the texture. I love the lentils. Overall, very impressed.
This is going to be great leftover. It made so much, so I can have this for a lunch or a dinner, and yeah, a great option for meal prep.
All right, for the berry mash, I'm just using what I have. I have raspberries. I just rinsed these. These are just one, like, what is this? 6 ounces? Yeah, 6 ounces of raspberries. And then I'm gonna add like a half a tablespoon of strawberry sugar-free jello, and you just mash it up, and then you can top it on cottage cheese, yogurt. It's just a really good consistency, almost like a jam. This is one of my favorite little hacks and recipes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add the berries, mash it with a fork, and then add the jello, and then you store it in the fridge overnight. This is the consistency of it. Looks almost just like a chunky jelly. This is 1 whole teaspoon, by the way. I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons because I really do like the flavor. I don't know, there's just something about it I like. A lot of it. So I did 2 teaspoons. You're welcome to do less. There you have it. I'm gonna place the lid on, store it in the fridge. Look at that, that looks so good.
I've been waiting to share this soup with you guys. I'm so excited. This is my favorite chicken soup. This is a copycat from one of our local Mexican restaurants we have here called Velarde's. They have one of the best soups. It's worth going there just for that. But I'm going to go ahead and saute for 6 minutes some garlic and white onion. I'm going to leave the recipe down below in the description box for you guys, so do not worry if you can't follow this. You can check the link down below for the recipe. But I love this feature on this crock pot pressure cooker combo. It has the saute feature. So I'm going to saute those onions and that garlic. Before the time is done on the saute, I like to add the chicken breast. I'm doing 1.5 pounds of chicken breast. And then I'm going to add some seasonings. I like to just keep it pretty simple with salt, pepper, and garlic powder, but I do like to add the seasonings and let everything kind of marinate together. We are going to add the rice now. I'm just using white rice. I did 1 cup. And what I love about these voiceovers, and now that I've tried the meal, is I can tell you what I would do differently. And I would have definitely not had added so much rice because it really made it super thick, and typically it's more of a thinner soup, so a half a cup would have been great, but it's still amazing. It still turned out very good. I'm adding 10 ounces of diced tomatoes and jalapenos along with the juice from that, so I'm just gonna dump that in there, and then we're doing 16 ounces of fat-free chicken broth. I added 2 bay leaves to this, and then I am going to be adding 6 cups of water to the soup, which you think that all of that water and chicken broth would have thinned this out, but again, I added a little bit too much rice. But honestly, if you like a thicker like soup, like wild rice soup, I've made that before, a creamy wild rice soup on the channel, and that's so good. So if you like a thicker soup, you could add the 1 cup rice, but I prefer a thinner brothy soup. I also added some fresh cilantro to this so that it just had a little cilantro flavor while it was cooking. And then we're going to pressure cook. I did pressure cook manual on, let's see how much time, I think 25 minutes. Did I do 25 minutes? I did 25 minutes. So we're going to start that, let that pressure cook, and then we're going to take the chicken out after it's done pressure cooking. We're going to take that chicken out and shred it, and then we'll place it back into the pressure cooker and we're going to slow cook it. So I had Joey taste it and it just didn't taste quite right. So we added 4 chicken bouillon cubes to really give it that flavor similar to the Velarde soup. After adding the chicken back in and the chicken bouillon cubes, I said that so weird, we're gonna slow cook for 1 hour. Halfway through cooking, I am adding the juice of 2 limes to give it a very good, fresh, zesty flavor. And then the soup is done and it's delicious. It turned out so, so good. And then the toppings on this soup is really what makes it. So for the serving size, I wanted to have a lot of soup. So I did 1 1/2 cup for a serving, and then I'm topping it with fresh onions, white onions, cilantro, and some queso cheese. And I like to grate the queso cheese very fine. I use a grater for this, and honestly, when you mix that all together, it just makes the best soup. It's just so good, you guys. So don't skip on the queso cheese. And there you have it. And then you can just store this away and you can have this for a warm, yummy dinner and you'll be really happy.
That's it for this meal prep. I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.